Hi, this is Praveen. Now let us discuss about the geomorphic movements. Firstly, the Earth has some movements which were called as the Earth's movements. Earth's movements, which were of three types. One is the astronomical movements. The second one is geographical movements. And the final type is geomorphic or geological movements. So, now let us look at them one by one. First, astronomical movements of the Earth is nothing but the movements of the Earth that were taking place in this space. For example, we already have discussed about the motions of the Earth. All those motions of the Earth comes under the astronomical movements. Let us quickly revise them. First, we have the galactic movement, which is nothing but the movement of the Earth around our galaxy. And the second one is the rotation, which is nothing but the movement of the Earth around its own axis. The third one is revolution, which is nothing but the movement of the Earth around the Sun in an orbit. And the fourth type is eccentricity, which is nothing but the movement of the Earth wherein the orbit of the Earth's shape changes. The fifth type is obliquity, that is nothing but the movement of the Earth where the axial tilt of the Earth changes from 22.1 degrees to 24.5 degrees. And the sixth is precession. Precession is nothing but the wobbling of the Earth around its own axis. That means if we consider this as the Earth axis, the Earth moves in this way. And precession, during the process of precession, we can find the equatorial bulging and the polar flattening during the equinox. So it is about the astronomical movements. Coming to geographical movements, we have already studied about the interior of the Earth. So the Earth's interior looks like this, a part of the Earth. So here on the uppermost part we have the crust, and below that we have the mantle, and finally we have core. We have already seen that the core moves in faster speed when compared to any other layers. Mantle moves with a moderate speed and the crust moves with a less speed. So when the core and the mantle move, they would be producing the frictional force. This frictional force in turn leads to the formation of geomagnetic energy between the core and the mantle. And in between the mantle and the crust, we have again the frictional force being generated, and it leads to the formation of the geothermal energy. So here we can see that the core, mantle and the crust are moving, which we consider as the geographical movement of the Earth. And finally, in the geomorphic movements are the movements that were caused by the interior of the Earth or by the external forces. Now let us study about the geomorphic movements in detail. So in the geomorphic movements, there are two types of geomorphic movements. One is the endogenic movements, which is also called as endogenic forces, and then we have exogenic forces. So endogenic forces are nothing but the forces that were responsible for the geomorphic movements, which will be coming from the interior of the Earth. And exogenic movements are nothing but the forces that were responsible for the geomorphic movements outside the Earth's surface, that is from the atmosphere. So in the endogenic movements, they were again divided into two types, as the macro movements and the meso movements. So this macro movements is also called as slow movements or the process of diastrophism, and meso movements are nothing but the fast and the sudden movements. And now first let us look at the macro movements. There are two types of macro movements. The first one is epirogenic movements. Another one is orogenic movements. Now in the epirogenic movements, epiro is nothing but continent and genic is nothing but building, and oro is nothing but mountain and genic is nothing but building. That means epirogenic is nothing but the continental building process and the orogeny is nothing but the mountain building process. So in the epirogenic we have the building of the continents, and there are two ways for that. One is either by submergence, another one is called as the emergence. So here, for example, if we consider this as the land surface, when some force is pushing this land surface towards the earth's interior, then the surface now becomes somewhat like this, and when it rains we can find the formation of a water body, either a lake or a river or a sea. We cannot say that depending upon the given image, we can say depending upon the distance. So here we have the water body that was forming, and the landmass which was there has submerged under this water. So this process is called as the submergence. And under emergence, if we have this landmass and here we have the water body, and when the force from the interior of the earth is acting in this direction, then the landmass would become flat and the water would be pushing up, and due to the more evaporation they might evaporate. So we have a formation of a flat surface from this water body. So this process of emergence of the continents is called as emergence. So it is about submergence and emergence. In submergence, a landmass goes beneath a water body, and in emergence, a water body evaporates and a new continental body would be formed. So it is about the epirogenic. Now let us come to the orogenic movements. There are two types of orogenic movements. One is by the process of tensional forces, other one is by the compressional forces. First, let us understand about the tensional forces. So in the tensional forces, if we suppose this is a landmass, we all know about the tension, which is nothing but a force acting perpendicular to the surface. So if the force acts in this direction, then we call it as a tensional force. And when the force is acting along this direction, the landmass would be pushed upwards. So we have formation of a mountain-like structure which is called as the fold mountains. That were formed due to the action of tensional forces. So the tensional force acts in this direction. And coming to the compressional forces, if we have a landmass, a part of this landmass is being dragged by the earth's interior by some compression. So here again the landform would be in this way. It leads to formation of a valley-like structure called as a rift valley. And here we have the formation of a mountain-like structures called as the block mountains, as they were looking in the shape of a blocks. So rift valleys, regarding the rift valleys, one of the best examples was East African Rift Valley, which we will discuss under the neotectonics. So it is about the tensional and the compressional. So it is about the orogenic. Now let us come to the meso movements. In the meso movements, there are mainly two types of meso movements. The first one being the volcanism, which is nothing but a process in which the magma in the form of lava erupts out onto the earth's surface from the mantle. About volcanism, we have already made a separate video. And the second type is the earthquakes. Earthquakes are nothing but the movements of the earth wherein the earth's crustal part would be shaken. So it is about the earthquakes we will be discussing in a separate class. So it is about the meso movements. So it is all about the endogenic forces. Now let us come to the exogenic forces. Before going to look at the exogenic forces, let us look at some examples such as the landslides, avalanche, the mass movements, and the rock fall. Now let us understand them one by one in order to understand about the exogenic forces. So looking at the landslides, if we consider a hill, then when it rains on that hill, then what happens? some permeable rocks would be present. So permeable rocks are nothing but the rocks which can easily be soluble in water. So some rocks would be easily soluble in water. Now a process called hydraulic action takes place. Hydraulic action. Hydraulic action is a movement where a rock would be dissolved in water. So after the process of hydraulic action, the rock gets weakened. So due to that reason, a part of the land from the hill would be slided down. That is called as the landslides. And the same phenomena nearer to the glacial regions where the ice now acts as a land and slides down is called as the avalanche. And coming to the final one, the mass movements, it is nothing but the movement of the weathered particles due to the gravitational force. So due to the gravitational force of the earth, some part of the weathered rocks would be getting down. It is the process of mass movements. Now let us come to the rock fall. For example, if we consider an upland and a lowland region, when here on the top we have the hard rock and at the bottom we have the soft rock. The running water at its youthful stage, it moves like this, and when it reaches to here, it suddenly falls down. When it reaches to here, it exerts some pressure and force onto the soft rock here. So it exerts some force. So after some time, due to the continuous exertion of force and pressure, the region would in turn turn into this format, where here is this hard rock and it is the soft rock. Here we have the water, and here we would be having a pool-like structure and a hole-like structure, and that hole-like structure is called as a pothole, and the potholes in a larger dimensions were called as plunge pool because they would look like a pool. So here the water is falling, it is called as a waterfall, and here we can see that the soft rock has eroded, and this process is called as the rock fall. So these are some examples of exogenic forces. Exogenic forces are also called as the micro forces. Now let us look at their classification. So exogenic forces are classified under three types. The first one is weathering. Second part is the mass movements. And the final one is the erosion and deposition. Erosion and deposition. So weathering is nothing but the process in which the larger rock, it would be broken down into smaller pieces. And in the process of weathering, it takes place by three methods. The first is the physical method, where we have the involvement of physical properties of water and others. And the next is chemical weathering, where we have the chemical reactions that were taking place. And the final one is biological weathering, where we have some microbes and microorganisms that were helping the water in order to break these rocks. So such kinds of weathering processes would be found. So these are the classification of the weathering. We would be understanding weathering in a separate class. Coming to the mass movements, as I have told earlier, when the weathered rocks would be sliding down with the gravitational force, they would be considered as mass movements. Mass movements are of two types. One is slow movements, another one is rapid movements. So slow movements is also called as soil creep, and the rapid movements are also called as the land creep. So it is about the mass movements. And the rapid movements are also called as the soil flow. So it is about the mass movements. Next is erosion and deposition. Erosion is nothing but taking away the weathered rock particles which have been broken down by the process of weathering. So erosion is nothing but the taking away of the weathered rock particles. And deposition is nothing but depositing the eroded particles at a single place. And the process of erosion and deposition takes place by 5 means. The first one is the running water, which is also called as river. The second one is wind, and the third one is the glacial action. glacial action. The fourth type is the sea waves. And finally, we have the groundwater. So all these five means would be making some landforms. The landforms made by the river or running water is called as fluvial landforms. The landforms made by the wind is called as the aeolian landforms. The landforms made by the glacial action is called as the glacial landforms. Landforms made by the sea waves is called as the coastal landforms. The landforms made by the groundwater is called as karst landforms or chalk and limestone landforms. So these are the various types of landforms formed by erosion and deposition. So it is all about the exogenic forces. So it is all about the topic geomorphic movements. The PDF notes of this video is given in the description below. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.